Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Shay. I told Beth that I would try to go live on here on YouTube, but turns out you got to have a lot more subscribers to go live with these things. So I won't be doing that. I'll be doing these Holy Week devotionals like we're doing them right now. Today's Holy Monday, and I pray that y'all were blessed yesterday. Thanks again, Mike, for leading us through service. And thanks again to Aaron, man, for leading us through worship. You guys are a blessing, and love having y'all in our community. But like I said, today is Holy Monday, and what we are thinking through today and processing today is Jesus. He's already done his triumphant entry into the city of Jerusalem. They laid down the palm branches. They're screaming out, Hosanna, save us, son of David, that whole shebang, right? At some point, Jesus leaves the city of Jerusalem, and he's in Bethany. I think it probably happens sometime in the evening. He goes hang out in Bethany, and I believe he's making his way back to the city of Jerusalem when what we're going to be talking about today happens. And there's going to be two aspects that we talk about today that I think, man, as I was processing it, thinking about what to say to all of you, it really hit me today. And it's causing me to reflect on how much do I love Christ and how far would I be willing to go for him. And so there's two stories, two accounts of the same story, one in the book of Matthew and the other one in the book of Mark. Both Matthew and Mark, they have the same events, but they have them in different order. And so I took the one for Mark just because it hit me a little bit different than what I've read it in the past. So this comes from Mark chapter 11. It's going to be verses 12 through, looks like 25. Check this out. It says, on the following day, when they came from Bethany, he was hungry. So this is right after the triumphant entry. As seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to see if he could find anything on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And he said to it, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. And his disciples heard it. And they came to Jerusalem, and he entered the temple, and he began to drive out those who sold and those who bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. And he would not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple. And he was teaching them and saying to them, is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations? But you have made it a den of robbers. And the chief priests and the scribes heard it and were seeking a way to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. And when evening came, they went out of the city. And as they passed by in the morning, they saw the fig tree withered away to its roots. And Peter remembered and said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree that you cursed has withered. And Jesus answered them, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. So as I was reading this earlier, I was just like, man, I always struggled with why, sorry y'all, I'm outside the building and there's planes going overhead. Why would Jesus curse this fig tree? It almost seems like he was just angry and just lashed out like a little kid. You know what I mean? When I was first becoming a Christian, I always questioned that story. And then I read it today, and I read it how Mark's account puts it. Man, these two stories fit together, and they're almost telling the same thing. Our religious actions, without deep faith and deep conviction about who God is, the love of God, the going above and beyond to worship him and love him, religion without that kind of zeal for God it's as dead as a fig tree, and you deserve to be cast out of the temple. Jesus in his life, in the book of John, tells a similar story when Jesus was driving people out of the temple, and his disciples remembered, like from Psalm 69, it says, "Zeal for my Father's house consumes me." I had to ask myself this morning, like, am I consumed with God? Does the thought of God and me wanting to please God and me wanting to worship God, is it all I can think about? Or am I consumed with the things of this world? Am I consumed with what's happening at work? Am I consumed with how to please the people around me, my family, my friends? Am I consumed with my favorite sports team? Am I consumed with getting my kids into whatever next thing that they're doing? Am I consumed with all the other things that we could be consumed with? Myself, my health, my weight. I could be consumed with those things, and I could be zealous for those things. I could wake myself up at 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all. I could wake myself up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go play basketball. I could wake myself up at 5 o'clock and at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a plane to go on a vacation and not even give a second thought to it. Those kind of things, we're zealous to do those kind of things. But when it comes to God, for some reason, it seems like we're not as zealous. We're not consumed with loving God. And as Jesus looks at that fig tree, a tree that's supposed to give nourishment to travelers along the road, it's supposed to have this fruit on it. Usually when something is when it's growing leaves, it's coming to that point where it's starting to grow maybe a little bit of fruit, maybe signs of a fruit. But it looks like Jesus, as he's looking at that tree, is like, you are not producing how you're supposed to be producing. And this isn't the first time Jesus said something like that. As he was looking at the Pharisees and their teaching, as he's looking at different people and their religiosity or whatever it is they're going through, as they came to him, like as John was baptizing people. Actually, it was John, I'm sorry. As John sees it, people are coming to John, and they're like, "We're trying to figure out what you're doing out here in the desert, baptizing people." John's out there baptizing people, pointing them to Christ. He's like, "Who told y'all to flee the wrath to come? Bear fruit, because the axe is at the root." Anyone who's found to be fruitless is chopped up and thrown into the fire. And Jesus cursing the fig tree, John telling the Pharisees that they're fruitless trees whose roots deserve to be plucked up and tossed into the fire. Jesus driving people out of the temple during this Holy Week. All of it kind of culminates in, man, this idea: are we on fire for Christ? Or is this just a hobby that we do on the weekends? Are we consumed with the fact that we've been loved by the God of the universe? Or do we just take it for granted and just kind of move on with our lives? Man, I pray this week is something different. I pray this week hits us a little bit different. I pray that today is a day where we are consumed by God's love for us. That it's an overflowing, passionate thing, that we want to worship God, that we want the best for him, that we love his people, that we love him, that we go above and beyond. Call somebody today. Lift up a prayer today where you're like, man, God, I want to be consumed with you. I want to be passionate to forgive. I want to be passionate to have more wisdom. I want to be passionate to have more patience with my family and my friends. I want to love like I've never loved before. Those are the things that I think help us bear fruit. Those fruits of the Spirit that Galatians talks about. When we're passionate, when we give above and beyond our attention, our span, our wants and desires, when we give all of that to Christ, he multiplies that into a fruit that the church gets to nourish off of, and people around us get to enjoy, and God is glorified. That's what I think Holy Monday is about. And I pray that today you're consumed with it, and this week that you're consumed with it, wanting to love God in the most extravagant way possible. And I'm praying for us. I'm praying that we get that today, that the passion of God would consume us, that zeal would cause us to do something extraordinary today or for the rest of the week, that we come and in absolute worship to God. Man, I love y'all. I hope y'all doing well. And I look forward to doing these. I'm praying for us. Y'all pray for me that I would be consumed with the love of God. And to God be the glory. I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.